Right now, A-Rod has been suspended for using PEDs. The question is, was the punishment too harsh? Was it right? Or was it actually too easy? And next, Anthony Weiner says he's not dropping out of the race no matter what comes his way. We'll have that and more of Dominic's one-on-one interview with a man who would be mayor. And later, is the GOP splitting in two? Lots of signs of infighting coming from the Grand Ole Party. And we are very pleased to be joined tonight by the chairman of the New York State Republican Party on what's going on at the ground level. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thanks so much for joining us this Monday evening, August 5th. Listen, we're not a sports show, but sometimes stories come out of the sports world that frankly dominate all other stories. And we begin tonight with none other than Mr. Alex Rodriguez, and we're asking you at home to sound off as well. Should A-Rod have been suspended for the time that we are talking about? Go to Facebook and Twitter to sound off. A little background, and then we'll head out to Chicago, where we'll hear from, among others, Joe Girardi, the manager, and Alex Rodriguez himself. But in fact, let's go first to Chicago Cellular Field, where the aforementioned Joe Girardi is addressing the media.
About it for a while in regards to Alex Rodriguez and the looming suspension. What was your initial reaction when you found out that it was 211 games?
I didn't really have a reaction. People have speculated for a while now that it was going to be the rest of this year and next year. So, but I knew that there was a possibility that he would appeal, and that's why we kept him going, because we felt that if he was ready, he'd be in the lineup on Monday.
How does this change things for you guys moving forward with the appeal and with everything that comes along with it?
He's here. He's going to play. It really doesn't change anything for us. You know, when he's healthy and he feels good, we expect him to be productive, and I'm going to play him.
It's been a while since he played in a major league game. What are the realistic expectations for him on the field?
You know, I think it's kind of clear what the expectations are by where I put him in the lineup. I expect him to drive in runs and have productive at-bats for us and to play third base. He'll DH some, too, because I know he has to work into that everyday playing shape again. And he's worked hard to get to this point. But still, I will DH him some.
I guess Kenny in the back. So, 2 years ago, the Lions launched a pretty strong word about baseball players using illegal PEDs. Wondering if today's news makes you think any differently of Alex, or whether you're curious to see how the appeal plays out because of your feelings about it.
Well, I think that that MLB and the Players Union have negotiated that there is an appeal process. So I think you let it play out. Everyone's going to have an opinion, and that's just the world that we live in, but I think you let it play out. I don't think there's any room for PEDs in baseball. I think the record should be accomplished the right way, and I think it's through hard work. I don't believe in shortcuts because I think everyone gets shortchanged when there's shortcuts. So I believe the only way to do it is through hard work.
Who else? Over to the left, Joe.
What's your honest assessment of the way the players in the clubhouse have reacted to his returning across the board?
I think guys were happy to see him. He's a teammate of ours. He's a friend of ours. You heard a lot of guys laughing. Alex is one of the guys that you know, has always sat around with the young players, and a lot of times I could, from my office in New York, which is quite a ways away from the food room, you'd hear them laughing. So, you know, for the players, this is business as usual in a sense. I mean, there are things that happen when you're in New York that some people are going to consider distractions, but the one thing that these guys understand is that you're a team. You go out and play as a team, and the goal is to try to win games. And you deal with the stuff off the field after the game.
Right next to him.
Yes, you mentioned some of the young players. Do you believe he is a role model for the younger players?
You know, I believe that we all have a responsibility to act in a proper way, you know, because people look to you, and young players or children are going to look up to you. So I think we all, and that includes you, have a responsibility to others to act in a manner that's appropriate. So I really believe that everyone should be a role model. But
do you believe he is a
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that he has tried to teach the games to kids about how to go about certain situations, and I've seen him talk to Robbie Cano about trying to do damage when there's runners in scoring position, not just trying to get a hit. So, yeah, I believe that players look for his advice.
So I guess putting aside the moral issue, you're facing your cleanup hitter being gone for a year and a half. What do you hope is the resolution of this appeal?
Well, obviously, you want to hope the resolution is that he's clean. I mean, that's the resolution that you hope for. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the appeal process. I don't think anyone wants to lose a player for 50 games, 65 games, or whatever the suspension might be that you expect to be a big part of your team, because that leaves a hole that's not always easy to fill. So I think from a hope standpoint, that's what you hope for, that he's a player for you.
George?
Joe, yesterday you were kind of hopeful that Jeter might be able to avoid it. What happened? What happened?
I just think that our thought process was that he's probably wasn't going to be a player for a while, George, and that we got, so we felt that it's probably a better idea to put him on the DL than maybe to test it, after 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, and have a setback. And we had to make sure that we were covered as well.
Andrew, and then we'll come up front.
Joe, in terms of how you want Alex...
And you're already starting to hear some questions now about Derek Jeter on the other side of Alex Rodriguez. He's going on the DL, it appears. But listen, if you're joining us late, you're not watching pregame for the Yankees. There is potentially history being made here in terms of suspensions and a major crackdown from Major League Baseball. In fact, he was talking about suspensions of 50 games and 65 games, and many players accepted that as punishment. But Alex Rodriguez is looking at potentially 211 games, which would be a record with the exception of a lifetime ban that has been imposed a couple times in the history of the game here. But let's bring up to speed. Major League Baseball brought the gavel down today hard, and 12 players accepted the sentence, the aforementioned 50-game suspensions for using banned substances to enhance their performance on the field. The lone holdout, only one player didn't accept the deal, and that was the aforementioned Alex Rodriguez, who drew a far tougher penalty and who apparently will not take it sitting on the bench. Tonight, one of baseball's biggest stars faces one of the game's biggest penalties. Major League Baseball ordered Alex Rodriguez benched through 2014, a record penalty for using performance-enhancing drugs. Today, a dozen players, including Texas Ranger All-Star Nelson Cruz, also caught in the crackdown. They accepted 50-game suspensions effective immediately.
We want Major League Baseball to catch these people, to punish them, and to show kids, to show high school athletes that this is not what you want to be doing. This is dangerous for your body.
In a statement, A-Rod says he's disappointed with the league's decision and he plans to appeal, putting a suspension on hold while an arbitrator reviews the charges. In the balance, the 38-year-old slugger's multi-million-dollar contract and his legacy as a three-time MVP.
It doesn't matter what he comes back and does. He essentially now has been pegged as someone who is a doper for much, if not all of his career.
Tonight, A-Rod plans to put on a Yankees uniform for the first time since last October, determined to return from rehab at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago.